And welcome back, party people, to another episode of Dance Specific Talks.
Yo, what do you do, ya? Boom.
Yo, we had some really good reactions on us
Yes.
co-hosting our first episode last week.
Yes, there were people from all over the world reaching out to us. It's exciting times.
And
really happy.
Did you know that 2 days ago I got a order on Move That's Soul from Romania? Bam. So today I'm gonna send a package to Romania. So somebody must have heard the podcast and found our little talk interesting.
Shout out to
and
you.
I
Shout
salute you.
Shout out to
Move
you.
That Soul. Yeah. And we're definitely gonna play some more questions later. But today we have got into a very interesting topic.
Yes. Before we dive in, I just wanna know. I know we're gonna talk about it more next week, but how was your performance, T-zer? How was you've been back in Sweden? Just give us a quick a quick debrief.
We're gonna come back to it more next week, where we're gonna do like a little reaction video and stuff, and we're also probably gonna have a guest, which is Anos, who is organizing the whole event. But I am mind blown.
Nice.
I have never performed as a storytelling event, and I have never seen myself as a storyteller through dance, even though I told many stories in all my performances. It has really been something new. I had a 10-minute solo, and It was a personal story, as I told you guys before. I freestyled a lot of part of it, but I knew where to switch the modes, and I knew what kind of feeling I wanted to give out. And I did not expect it, but a lot of people cried.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
And I think it's the first time that I ever have time enough to reach people like that. So yeah, that's one of the main things.
That's all we get. That's all we get. People crying.
Yeah.
And okay, beautiful. I'm really looking forward to next week. I want to hear more about it. You and I haven't even talked about it personally yet, so it's gonna be good fun. Yeah.
I'm super excited to tell you all about it. But one of the things that really came up was that we can actually touch on so many subjects with art, and our thing was to come home. And I think that that's also why we both kind of have entered into this topic that we're going to talk about today, which is dance. Is it healing or is it an escape? And I want to start with asking you, Sebastian, how has it been in your life so far? Has dancing been healing or escaping?
It has most definitely been both. For some periods of my life, it was definitely escape, and for some periods of my life, it was definitely used as healing. Movement in general, but if we focus specifically on dancing, right? There were moments where, for you guys who don't know, I've done a TED Talk along this, so go and check Sebastian Kruse on TEDx Mindelo, Mindelo, and you're gonna find that TED Talk. And I'm talking about mental health. So I used to struggle a lot with mental health issues it was over a decade ago, and struggled with suicidal thoughts, depression, and panic anxiety. But I was already a professional dancer at that time. So I already had dancing in my life, but it definitely served as some type of healing journey. But there were also a lot of moments where dancing worked as an escape. And I think that line is very, very, very thin. As somebody who coaches dancers, right? So if you're new to the podcast, Coach Sebastian and I run a company called Dance Specific Training. And for the last 10 years, I've been focused on coaching dancers to get mentally and physically stronger. I've coached in person and online and offline over 10,000 people by now. And a lot of people that start with, and that is very Latin dance scene where I see this. I didn't see this as much as hip hop, but a lot of people come into the Latin dance scene already going through something, and they're using dancing as an escape. And then that becomes their healing progress, right? Look, but I'm already feeling better. I'm dancing and I'm feeling better. but that wasn't the purpose, right? The purpose for you was to, because you didn't really deal with your problems. And I know I've been guilty about this myself. So both, I gotta say both. And we're gonna talk more about the dancing Latin scene as we come on, as this episode continues. But personally, gotta say both. What about you?
Yeah, I have fortunately not had so much mental illness in my life. I
Shout out
have
to
not
you.
had
Shout out
to.
to you.
Yeah,
Shout out
no,
to
but I feel super blessed because it's yeah, it has to do with a lot of things that can happen to you that you have no control over, right? So I see it as an achievement, but I also see it as like I've been fortunate enough to not be put through things that has left very, deep scar or unresolved traumas. We all have something. But it's never been something that hinders me in my life, luckily. And therefore, I had to really think about this because I do think healing is, well, that's my personal belief that we are not really coming into this life completely as a blank paper.
Yeah.
And so for me has been like, okay, what do I need to express in my dancing that either has to do something that I need to heal within my soul that maybe is longer back than this life, or what is it that I can heal within others in my dancing? So
interesting.
What do I feel when I have someone next to me or in my arms? Because I've been dancing so much in a crew setting, with next to someone where you breathe at the same time and you express at the same time, and you have to be exactly on the right count. So you build this
synergy.
ancient synergy of team, right? Doesn't matter. I think we just have that instinct from war. We have that instinct of survival. And when you are on the stage,
everything.
Exactly. Celebration, coming togetherness, when we used to pray and all of these things that I haven't had to go through, war and starvation and praying for rain. Like we all do that within dancing somehow, I believe. And then I started with couple dancing, and you just have a body in your arms, right? So when you don't know, this person might had like the toughest week of their life, and then suddenly you have them in your arms and you have 3 songs together. And in that moment, your energies decide, are we just going to make this a very polite type of, oh, we are here and we're here to forget about it, so let's have fun? Or are we connecting and you are showing me what you're going through? And the other way around. So I believe lately a lot of healing has happened in my life, and it used to be more escaping, have fun, all of that. But it's, what do you think when I say all this? Does it resonate?
Yeah, most definitely. And for me, I didn't dance with my crew a lot, right? Like I've been part of a crew, shout out Lesson Crew again, but we did a lot of solo. And when I started traveling and really working as a dancer, I was a solo performer. So when I look at my own dance journey, whether I was in, and it was 2 or 3 years, 3 years, very, very intensely with just international travels, like several world tours, together with the creators of Bachata Essential, Cork and Judith. But I was always performing by myself because I always did body isolation. And those performances was always freestyle because I got booked starting doing freestyles. So I said, okay, but if this is what you're booking me for, like you like this video on YouTube, let me continue to show you this video. Like, this is what you want? Yeah, perfect. You're going to get more of that. And as a result of me doing this, during those times, each performance works as a marker. And I knew exactly what I was. I knew exactly what I was going through. So then that worked a lot like therapy. Like that was healing for me. I got to stand on stage and express what I was going through. I could choose the song, and I have a whole routine, essentially, a whole ritual that I go through. I choose the song the same day. I really take my time. I stretch longer in the morning. I'm doing breathing exercises longer. It's really just to find out, like, where am I mentally? What's going on in my mind mentally? Where am I in all of this? What do I feel? And then I can pinpoint directly. It's like, oh, here I'm in China in 2018, and I'm choosing this song. Oh yeah, I was going through a breakup at that time, and here I am in China or in Russia in 2017. Oh, I'm choosing this song. Yeah, because I'm really struggling mentally during that time, but nobody knows about it. Only me, I know about it. So for solo dance, it was definitely a healing part. But then but I also got mentally healthier as time went. But in like 2019, when I started dancing more, 2019, when I started dancing more, focus more on doing couple dancing, I think it was also an escape. Like it was definitely an escape because then I had broken up, right? And then I had to deal with all of those things. So then I went out social dancing more and I lived alone. I lived alone in a different country where I didn't speak the language. I lived in Barcelona during the time. So then that was just perfect for me to just like, let me go out. Let me just don't think. Let me not stay in my head. Let me just go out, social dance and dance with others, right?
100%, 100%. And I think that what you just also said, because I also live in a country where for a long time don't understand the language,
Yeah.
and even though everyone speaks English here and it's all good, it's just so nice sometimes to escape the verbal
Yeah.
communication and just go into body communication, because you're like, oh, okay, finally I feel home. We can talk without trying to put grammar together, or like trying to go away from the courtesy things of how you doing, how's your partner, how's
Yeah,
work,
yeah,
and
yeah.
and then you just go straight into body, and then like you can't lie
And it's
and
like
you
raw
can't.
emotions, right?
It's so raw. So I feel like so happy when I get into that state, because then suddenly, yeah, what you do for work, whatever languages you speak, how much you
Yeah,
have on your bank account, like all of that just goes out of the window, because
yeah,
it's about here and now and what you say with your body.
exactly.
And the body also speaks very loud. I
Very, very
have
loud.
I have a lot of private students when it comes that has this, like women who they come to me because they want to get their Jenga on. They want to, move their hips, and
Let's get it.
it's literally stuck.
Yeah.
And that comes from so much. Like I had one private student, and I could see that physically for a long time her body has protected her organs. And for females, it's the uterus, it's the life center where we give birth. And I
Yeah.
said, I'm sorry to ask, but did something happen to you? And she was like, yeah, when I was very, like, I was fully pregnant, the father of my child passed away. And that just made me feel that I could not relax into my femininity.
Yeah.
I had to like switch in the middle of my pregnancy, and I didn't never trust the world again to have
I
my
never
back.
trust the world again to have my back. Wow.
And so her whole body, has obviously closed and protected the organs. And so now when you hit then kizomba, where it's grounded and it's this African style where you have to draw the energy from the ground
Yeah.
and move your hips in order to weight transfer, so you're on beat, so that you're not too early, so that you can express. Yeah, all of that shows now, because
Yeah.
it's the pelvic is completely locked.
And you have to
And
trust your partner. You have to trust. Now, all of a sudden, you got to trust the world. You got to trust the world in
yeah,
front of you. Yeah. Because your dance
yeah,
partner becomes your world in that moment, right?
yeah. And so shout out to her. Like
Shout out to her.
I had her of many classes, and I'm so happy that she still does it. And she has
Yeah.
also a lot of other creative outlets. So she's on a good roll. But what I'm saying is the body says so much, and that's where I think that the escape, it starts as an escape. And then at some point, if you allow it, it can be healing. It can be.
Most definitely, and exactly what you're saying, right? Like I had a student in the past,
Mhm.
um, very similar things. She trained so much, never missed a workout, never missed a dance class, perfect on her diet, right? Like we don't do diets, but like this woman was somebody who really wanted to lose weight, a lot of weight. And she said, I've tried everything. So I want a fixed meal plan so I can just continue that down. Overall, I'm not a fan of diets because they only work as long as you stay on the diets. But for this one, it was really like, okay, but let's focus on getting you properly into this as much as we can, right? Did everything. Didn't lose a kilo. Nothing. First month. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's something going on with her body that is just slow to start. Okay, increase the workouts. Still not happening. What is going on? And then I had a very similar conversation as you did. Is that what have happened? What are you not telling me? Oh, this is going on with her son. This is going on with her ex-fiance. Been violated, been raped in the past as a young woman, going through all of those things. So her body is literally holding on to everything and not releasing. So there was a long moment, there were months of just communicating together with her. It's like, okay, but we need to relax your nerve system. We shouldn't focus on doing this hard trainings. We need to take a different approach. We need to go way more feminine. We need to make sure that you are into your body. We need to do slower workouts, isometric holds, not these explosive, very like aggressive things. It's like, now we need to go that direction. Focus on your breathing, doing all of that part. And then slowly but surely, we healed her so she could actually get the results that she wanted, right?
Wow. Like, were you ever scared to tap into that as a coach? Because I mean, not only are you a man that goes really hard on your trainings, but like you are a coach that are usually, like having to deal with a lot of excuses and procrastination. Was it hard for you to like switch into taking this approach?
Not really. I think so I have this philosophy saying that like, I don't care how you work out, right? Like I'm not here to give you my training program. You shouldn't do what I do. We, as a couple, as a collaboration, we should find something that works for you. I'm going to give you what I know, and then we're going to see if it works. Oh, it doesn't work. But then we need to try something completely different. And then with the input that you give me, we need to design something that works specifically for you and your unique case. And I think that's when it comes to training in general, just personal training in general. You need to have a coach that can do exactly that. And I have no problem of just tapping into my own feminine and have that energy and have that way more softer approach. Again, like I'm raised with women, right? Like I have two brothers and a father, of course, but like in my home where I was raised with my mom, it was me, my mom, and my grandmother. My cousins on my mom's side are all females. I'm a dancer for 16 years. There's like majority of my friends are females. So I have no problem whatsoever just tapping into that. But it's harder. It's like, of course, it's easier to just like, hey, do this aggressive work, yeah, get the results, go. But the challenge, and that's also why I do what I do, is to tap into this. Okay, but how do we create something that works for you? Not something that works for me, something that works for you specifically. And so both yes and no, both yes and no. And then like when you've been doing it for a while, it becomes second nature. But overall, I think a lot of people need to have this openness when it comes to their coaching and their dancing. And when it comes to just yeah, I can talk about this forever, but I think it makes sense what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's funny because yesterday I had a visitor. It's one of my nomad friends,
one of many of us.
one of well, you're not that many that are successful and still doing it after years, but yes. She has been like a nomad for 4 years. She's coaching people all over the world, and she's a rhythmic cycling instructor. Her name is Claudia.
Shout out to Cloud.
Yeah, Claudia. She is she's coaching a lot of people all over the world. And I asked her this, like, is it healing or is it escape? And I expected her to answer from a rhythmic cycling instructor answer, but she kind of gave me a really cool answer that I was like, you know what? I would love to play this for you, and I hope you can hear it. So I can show it to you, because I thought it was an interesting take. So give me a thumbs up if you actually hear this.
I think no matter what we are talking about, whether it is a sport or a niche like dance or rhythm cycling, or even just eating a goddamn fruit, it's all about your relationship to the thing that you are doing and how you are consuming it. You can always overconsume and abuse, right? That's always a thing, because a frequency that is good for us, or a frequency that gives us something particularly, is addictive. So we want to stay in that frequency. And if we forget about the fact that we are in control and we can actually create that frequency without the thing, then yes, maybe the thing or the pattern can become abusive, aka unhealthy. However, I do believe that it's all about just changing your relationship with the thing, and that is ever changing. So it could be healthy at some point, and in some ways, it could also evolve into something that is less healthy.
Boom. Yes,
Boom.
yes. Boom.
Where am
Yeah.
I? Where am I? Why can't I see
Oh,
myself?
I don't know. You disappeared. It was too
I
much of a
disappeared.
boom.
It was too much boom. You exploded my. Where am I?
Well, I
Boom!
can.
Here I am. I'm
I
back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm fully
yeah.
back. I'm fully back.
Yeah. I don't know what you thought about that clip, but I think that is also definitely pinpointing what we said before, of like, something can be something when you start doing it, as in, like, we can start dancing because we want to work out, or we can start dancing because we just want to take our head out of our office work, or we can start dancing because I'm new in the city and I need new friends,
Yeah.
like, whatever the reason is. We need to acknowledge that the reason you're getting into something doesn't always stay the reason why you stay,
Exactly.
but it could change, and it could be, oh, I started this thing because I needed new friends, and I'm staying because I'm realizing that it's opening up some of my emotional parts that I didn't know. Or
Exactly.
I started as a training, but I realized I actually gained a community, or whatever. Whatever. What
Yeah,
did you?
exactly, right. But then also what she's saying what she talks about, she's talking about the relationship to the frequency. And what that sounds for me is that she's talking about responsibility. So if you're coming into dancing, and this is what I see, and this is one of the it's not an upset, but I just, when I see it, and I've been seeing it for such a long time, and it's so sad because it's textbook. This is what's going to happen. So a lot of dancers, a lot of people start dancing social dancing, Latin, salsa, bachata, kizomba, just for the fact because they've been going through something, whether that is they've been going through a breakup, something been happening, and there's a lot of breakups happening. And they do that because they want to find something, right? Like whether that is, again, they want to escape the reality that they are in, or they want to do this thing because they want to get out of their comfort zone. And that is completely fine, of course, but that is the reason why you started. But remember the reason why you started, because just because you started dancing and now you're feeling better didn't mean that you healed, quote unquote, from the things that you were actually going to pursue, right? I am starting to dance because I need to come over my breakup. Well, now you're dancing, and now you're good at dancing. So now you're becoming the hot person on the dance floor, the new hot guy, the new hot girl. But you didn't fix the thing that you needed to fix. So now you're just continuing this old pattern. So the pattern wasn't that you needed to fix your coming over your breakup. The thing was that you had to fix yourself. This was this one thing that you had to take responsible over. But you didn't fix it because you never did it. You only escaped into dancing, and now you're carrying on your toxicity into the Latin dancing, and now we have that. We as a community are now having to deal with your ego, your narcissism, and now that sips into the dance floor, and now you purposefully or not, have literally contaminated the waters that we all swim inside of, right?
Mm.
You came into dancing because of your breakup. Now you, and because of your breakup, because you had this, whatever went through in your breakup, right? Like your toxic relationship with your partner. Now you have those traits are still inside of you, and you didn't fix those. And now you are spreading gossip on the dance floor. Now you are trash talking other people. Now, and you are not ready for this new Latin dancing where people are sensual and people are dancing and there are artists. There is an hierarchy in the dancing, whether we want it or not. And a lot of people are not ready for that. So the work was never done. You never healed. You just escaped. You thought you healed because you're feeling better, but you didn't. It was an escape.
Mm. Oh my God, I feel like that could be an episode by itself.
Yeah, but it is, right?
It goes so far. Like it's a whole spectrum of you, as you said, you didn't fix your insecurities. So now, whether or not you want it, it's gonna be shown or hidden in the dancing.
There you go.
So either you're gonna be like, if we take the light version of the spectrum, I meet a lot of men that lead very fast and lead a lot of steps, a lot, and there's patterns and there's steps and there's lift and and I'm just like, what is it that you're hiding in the break? Because now here comes the slow part in Kizomba, and you want to keep going fast.
Yeah.
And I have to literally detach from you or embrace you and bring you down for you to really be there. And you're so uncomfortable there because there's no moves that can hide what's happening in the slow motion. And so I see that part, which is like,
exactly.
There's obviously something that you don't dare to show yourself, your authentic, raw, vulnerable, genuine side. So you want to impress with moves and blow me away, right? And everyone you're dancing with, not just me. And then you have like to the full other side of the spectrum where like you're so into your narcissism that everyone here is a potential victim for whatever
you're going through, and
whatever you're going through.
Exactly. And that goes for women and men. And again, I'm far from the best bachata dancer out there, but there are moments, and there are moments when you're dancing with somebody, it's like, oh, this became very sexual very fast. What just happened? Like, I did not do this. Why is this dance all of a sudden so sexual? Like this, why? What happened? What is happening? And then you have the women that are always dancing with women, and that is, if that's your thing, go ahead. But why are we always seeing video of you over sexualizing when you are dancing with another woman and you just happen to be on stage and just happen to be 3-4 people recording? Like that's a pattern. Like that, it's something going on here. Whether you dare to touch it or whether you dare to, we say in Creole we say "Ponde na ferida." Is like, if you dare to like put your finger where it hurts. If you don't, unless you dare to do that, you will never know. And
that's interesting what you just said, because I think that also we are in a time frame right now where women, has broken free from like all of these norms and stuff like this, and so the sexual revolution, liberation is a part of, I think that, and I speak it for myself, and I think for a lot of women, it's like, oh my gosh, finally I dare to express my sexuality, my sensuality, and all of this. However, what you just touched on is interesting, because it's like, but do you know that you are worthy and valued if you don't put that on also all the time? Do you have something else to show than sensuality and sexuality?
And
it's a part of it,
right? Definitely. Do you. This is what I say. Keep doing you, of course. But that's the only thing you're showing us, and that's the only thing you are trying to project. So you are literally trying to project your your self-worth on the dance floor by over sexualizing. Is there a space for sexualizing, like for that also? Of course. That's why we have high heel classes. That's why we have these people like people as yourself who are teaching these things, right? It's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's not a space. I'm just saying that is a thing. That is a thing that, and what are you doing? Because the question is it healing or is it escaping?
Oh my God, that's actually like such a good thing to talk about, because I don't think I ever realized that what actually men are covering up with a bunch of steps and tricks and lift and muscle power is women are also covering up as well, that they are hurt and they want to be held, and that they you know, also have all these other emotions,
We just want validation, right?
Even anger.
Exactly.
But that, because you're not supposed to show that as a woman, and you're supposed to you know, tap into your femininity, which we often refer to as softer and smoother and, you know, more playful, then where's the anger gonna go? So usually that is then taken into a seductive element, which it can, but
like it's the same energy, no? That's what you're trying to say.
So you have like the light feminine, what you usually call is like the more flirtatious, the more playful, the more, you know, oops type of energy. And then you have the darker side, which is seductive, which is more like I am not dominating, but I am requiring your attention. And that's another side. However, I never thought about that, that we are also covering up the little girl in us, and the little, you know, the angry frustration with also all these sexualized movements. I never thought about that.
Because I can say the same thing about men on when they come to me and they start to train, right? Or people at the gym. They're like, okay, you went through this horrible breakup. Amazing. Now you've been just like comeback body. Let's go, bro. Let's get it. You've been training like an animal for 4-6 months. You got that six pack. Let's go. Of course, that's awesome. Now what? Now what? Now you have more men. Now you have more women coming after you because you once started dancing, and then after that you started training with me. So you just like from like a monetary, or from like a transactional like perspective. It's like, okay, but you raised in value. It's like, okay, but you're more good looking and you can dance. Your confidence is through the roof. Amazing. But did you work on yourself?
Yeah, or is it, or did you work on getting more validation?
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, because that's the opposite end of the spectrum, right? It's like, and I had someone here, like a person that's trained here in Cape Verde. What am I saying? A person that I know here who have started to train. And she goes, and I'm like, oh, how's your journey going? She's like, oh, it's amazing. I love it. I'm like, oh, nice. Like, what's the benefit? She's like, every guy wants me now. Awesome. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah. Before, no man was looking at me. But now once I started training and losing weight, every man wants me. Amazing. And I'm like,
no.
Like, no. Like you became physically healthier, but you didn't deal what you wanted to deal with. Like that was not the point. Like, but then at the same time as all of this, right? As we're talking about all of this, we're discussing, it's like, oh, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. Like, why not? You know, why the fuck not? You want to
because
be,
also,
you know,
you're training. So technically, you're
yes.
taking care of yourself
Come
and
on.
your temple.
Do your thing.
You get, you know, look benefits of it, and it makes me feel better, and I'm standing more straight, and I have better posture, so I present myself in a better way. Yes, of course, I'm more attractive. So you can't say you also don't get that.
No, exactly, right. But it's the same thing as now. So like, we're talking about two things, right? Like the over-sexualization on the dance floor, but then also like the people are training and getting like physically and emotionally, or physically like more attractive, quote unquote, more attractive, right? Like understand what we're talking about here. Or misunderstand us correctly, as we say in Swedish. But on the end of where there is the over-sexualization on the dance floor, it's like, well, who am I? Like, why? I'd like, do you, right? Because that part also exists. So it's such a gray zone. But the whole point comes down to, what are you actually doing? And dare to look at yourself in the mirror. right? Like if I analyze my own self, I've been dancing for 16 years. The first time, and this is a true story. Should I share this? The first
Yeah,
time.
of course. Story time. Let's go.
The
Let's
first
go. I'm having
time,
my
and
cup with here.
if I just analyze my own thing, right? The first time I ever took my shirt off on stage was straight after I broke up. Like that was the first time. Like now, not like I've been modeling, and then of course you're modeling without shirt, and I've been doing those type of show without shirtles. But like the first time at a Latin dance festival where I took my shirt off on stage was right after my breakup. It's like, yeah, but I can say it's like, yeah, but it was because of the art, or it was because of this thing. Like, yo, no, I obviously this is in 2019. This is 5 years ago. Like that was a scream for validation. Why I needed that validation, right? So if I can't say anything else about it. Like, of course, I wanted to, but there was more levels to it. I've been training a lot. I wanted to show that my style looks very good because I do body isolation, so it looks great without shirt. Of course, I also sell training, so it works hand in hand. But if I'm honest with myself and I look myself in the mirror, and this was right after my breakup.
It's interesting. Thank you for confessing that, because we should have that as a part of every podcast episode, like the dance confession moment. And we should go. Yeah. We should make.
Goddamn, do I have a few?
Yeah, we all do, but also like we should make all the guests also do a dance confession. I think that could be fun.
I love it.
Just because of that, I also wanted to say that like it's interesting because it's after a change that we start thinking around stuff, right? And I just remembered after having given birth to my daughter, like obviously I gained like 20 plus kilos during my pregnancy, and that was not because I ate differently. That was just because my body was like hoarding up so that I could like breastfeed her, and I could see that my body was retaining all this water because I am now feeding, like this child. And I remember being like, but I want to go back to Kizomba. And after 2 months, I was out again. And of course, I was heavier. I didn't mind it. I actually didn't feel different in my body. Funny enough, I thought my knees or my ankles, but never throughout the entire pregnancy and after did I feel that I was heavier. So shout out to my knees.
Shout out to you. You also train and were like rigorously about your taking care of your body throughout your whole entire pregnancy also. So shout out to you.
That's true. And I was like dancing. I believe that if my body gets to dance after, because my abs hadn't gone back together, but I was like, let's go back, because I think that with movements, my body will place my muscles back
where they should
by memory, where they should be. So, let's do this. And I just remembered, even though I think a lot of people know how sensitive it is after pregnancy, giving birth, there was still a lot of comments, like, yeah, you look more meaty, or, wow, I actually do love your new curves. And I mean, some comments were like, nice, okay, cool, because I actually don't care. Like I am happy enough to say that I'm self-confident enough, because I'm 33 now, so I'm just like, whatever, man, like my body is looking like this because it's gone through like a miracle. But yeah. And then there was this guy who was like, oh, you're pregnant again. And I was like, after 2 months, and I was like, no, man, like my body is going back. Like I'm not gonna be like flat belly right away. Like it needs some time for my organs to shrink again, But then I remember talking about confessions that I would like swap out like my whole wardrobe. So like I would like take all the XS and the S clothes, like I would just take them out of my wardrobe, and I would take like all the clothes to fit me so I could only see them. And after that, I also started to have by myself like belly dancing moments where
Nice.
because I had so much extra skin and I was like, oh my God, like finally I can do that little, when they vibrate and like the belly dancing vibration. Like I never could have that before, which is like, I think it's amazing. I think it was so dope. And I just like tried to give myself some grace. I swapped out my rings that I couldn't have to like bigger rings. I started taking Mally's rings and put it on, all that to just give myself a like, it's okay. I'm going to come back,
Yeah.
but the validation, whether I wanted it or not, came or
You
did
know?
not come from
Yeah.
other people. So it's a big thing. It's a big thing.
And it's tricky, right? Like it's so tricky because
Yeah.
exactly like, because what are we talking about? We're talking about something that is so personal, and it's about going through something. You're going through something, and whatever you go through, you grow through. But you have to have the mindset of like, okay, but I am going through this, and that's okay, right? Like I have a student. She told me she was just in a dance festival, and I always ask my students to send me videos if they record. Even though I don't give them feedback on their dancing, I still look at it from a sports perspective, right? Because the feedback I give them is, what is happening here? Like, why do you look less confident? Why are you looking tired? Why are you not able to do the thing that you've been practicing on? What's going on mentally? How's your self-talk during this period of this dance, right? So, and I'm seeing it, and for the first time, she's been with me for about 4 months, and for the first time, I'm seeing her with I guess it's a crop top. It's like no arms and her belly's out, and I'm like, hey, like, what's up with the outfit? And she's like, you know what? This is the first time I ever go out dance with this type of outfit, and even though everything might not sit where I want it to sit, I'm still so proud of myself for doing this work that I've been doing. So I let myself have it, and I felt amazing. I was like, but that is incredible. Like, that is exactly what we want, right? Like, of course you should do that. And that dancing can facilitate that for you. It's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful moment of healing. And that's that. It doesn't need to be more than that, right? And just like you're saying, because you also took a lot of dance hall classes to be able to be more explosive and do all of these things throughout after your pregnancy or even during your pregnancy, perhaps. Like, that is such an important tool. The point is just you have to be conscious about it because you want to become the best version of yourself. And the only way for you to do that is to have awareness and have consciousness of why are you doing what you are doing right this moment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. And I think it's interesting because yesterday we shared like this video together on Instagram as well. And I'm gonna read the text about it. But I think it's about when you realize and take responsibility, it's probably after you understand what you actually need.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what are your needs? And we stumbled across this video. I'll read it out. It says the healer also needs healing. The planner also needs surprises. The giver also needs to receive. The thoughtful also needs to be thought of. The considerate also needs to be considered. You are never going to be 100% ready, and it's never going to just be the right time. But that's the point. It means that every moment is also the right moment. If you want it, you can have it. I hope you quit overthinking, replaying failed scenarios, feeding self-doubt, and seeing the good in everyone but yourself. If you feel off, go back to nourishing the basics of what makes you you. Remember that you once dreamed of being where you are now. People who can't communicate think everything is an argument. People who lack accountability think everything is an attack. The people who are meant to be in your life are the ones who know how to gently wait for you to heal. Boom. That was a long text.
Mic
However,
drop. As a
it
text field of
says
bars, yeah, so well done, so well written.
the author is unknown, so I don't know. It just says unknown.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if you go into dancing and you understand what you need truthfully, and maybe sometimes that is a break and self-investment, you know,
Yeah.
like if you're a busy parent and you also have a work and then you get the 2 hours of dancing, that is self-investment, that is healing, because it's a moment where you can actually go out of your mind and into your body and just realize that there's joy in the world, accept stress and deadlines and all of that. If that's what you need right now, then that's what you need. And then you have
Yeah.
the other, which may be like, I need to heal. I had one student, she said, I am using couple dancing to go over my traumas about being touched, because I've received so much abuse in
Yeah.
my life that even for someone to touch me at this moment is hard. And I'm overcoming this by doing something joyful involving touch of other people I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, boom.
Say less,
And
yeah.
so there you go. Like, this is a need you have, and you are using dance as a tool to get over it. If it's fear or shyness or whatever it is, just know that one day you will come to a plateau or a level where maybe this won't do it anymore, and you
Yeah.
need to take care of whatever you have discovered that is actually the underlying problem.
There you go. There you go. There you go. I think you mic drop that one.
Boom.
Yeah.
We should have
boom.
sound.
Yes, we need. Can't you add sound?
Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but that's it. I think that's it. I think you put a nail in the coffin on that one. It's yeah. No
Spiken i kistan.
Ja, exakt alltså.
Nail in the coffin. I love it.
I think that's an expression in English also. But yeah, let's put
Isn't
in.
it? Okay.
I'm not sure.
Good.
I'm not sure. But yeah, fun. That's it. Is it time? Is it time to move
I
that
think it's
soul,
time.
perhaps?
I think it's time to move that soul.
I think it's time to move that soul. T-zer, give us a brief run over of what is Move That Soul.
Yes. So Move That Soul is a game that was created for dancers of any style, any level. And I would say it's like from 16 years and up, because it contains 2 parts. One is questions and one is move cards. So if, like we are doing right now, we want to play one round of ask cards. It's different questions. It can be funny questions, deep questions about yourself, about your dance journey, whatever. And if you also want to play a round of move, then I would, for example, take a move card that says move like water. And then you pick the song and I have to make a solo with this card to the song you choose. And so you can play this in group, you can play it with people you never met as an icebreaker, you can play it with your students, you can you can play it with yourself if you want to have creative ideas for a choreo. And that's it.
That's it. And we are
Move
now
that
also
soul.
proving that this is something that you can do online with your friends.
Exactly. Yeah, you could actually call up anyone in the world
Yeah.
and have like a question dance off.
Exactly.
And we're going to take a question here. And should I start?
You can start.
Oh, what is an area in dance that you secretly dream of exploring?
So many. What are you talking about? So many. What is this? So yeah, I do body isolation, right? Like it's essentially body isolation is just a lot of waves. I do a lot of waves. French people used to call that smurfing. In popping, you call it waving or snaking. I call it body isolation. I used to do popping and hip hop. I also do bachata. I can survive. If I really like you, I can survive with kizomba. I would love to do Cuban salsa. I would absolutely love to do it. Yeah,
it would suit you with your hat.
Yeah, come on, ask about me. I live on the island. I smoke cigars. I wear hats. That I would perfectly fit. So Cuban salsa, I would love to. I would also love to do more house dance, as in more footwork thing, more things involving footworks and floor work. Because I've had knee problems for such a long time. I've had knee problems since I was the first time I went to my doctor. With knee problems, I was probably 13, between 11 and 13, somewhere there. I had what's called slatter in English, but as in Swedish. As a result of that, I've always been very stagnant in my dancing. So I created my style with my body. Like, I have this body, but I still want to become a professional dancer. Well, these choreos that we're doing, I can't do those because they hurt my knees. I can't do all of these fancy things. So I got to be stagnant and make a style from that. And I managed to obviously to make a career out of it. So those would be my things. I would love to.
I think you should go for it.
Yeah. If I ever, I played around a lot with house. I think when it comes to Cuban salsa and kizomba, it's gonna come. But here in Cape Verde, it's a bit tricky because you don't really have like a Latin dance scene of that sort where you go out and social dance. House dancing I've been playing around a lot with, and then of course my training has been a lot of that. But then I think my biggest confession, is that I am purposefully staying away from capoeira. Because I know that if I start doing capoeira, it's done. Like then I'm a capoeirista.
You're gonna be one of those tight white pants. Package boy.
Everywhere. I'll stop podcasting. I'll stop my business. I just do capoeira because it's everything I want to do. It's everything I like. It's music. You learn how to play instruments. You sing. It has a lot to do with history and ancestry. You do martial art, which I love, and you dance, bro. Like it is. But so I just know for like, this is not a now thing. When I get a son or a daughter, then I'll start like that. I think that's that. Yeah, I think that's that.
Okay, but you do have a lot of capoeira on Cape Verde, no?
Yeah,
because of the connection.
A lot.
I could imagine.
Like so much as like you see it walking down the streets. It's like, oh, there's people doing capoeira. Like, Let me pull an ask card for you.
Sure.
I'm gonna take the first one. Listen, stop. Have you ever? Interesting. Have you danced out in nature? If so, share a story.
Oh, story time. Yeah, I've been dancing a few times on I danced a lot outside, but however, with like hip hop street shows where you just freestyle on the streets, I don't count it as nature necessarily. So I have danced in nature, and the first one that pops up, just because it was such a scene and I managed to capture it in like a small video, was on the White Cliffs of Devon, I believe. Like, it's literally this coastal line in England there, and it's just like this white massive cliffs that just goes down in the ocean. And I was there with my friend Gemma, who's a yoga trainer, and she filmed me when I was just doing a solo there. But there was something about being barefoot. I had a dress on, the wind was there, I had to work with the wind, but there was something about just embracing that cliff moment and the sun. And I did whacking. I felt like that was like the most appropriate style for this this place. And yeah, I just remember feeling very free, without judgment. And sometimes, especially back then, I could only have those moments when I wasn't around other dancers, because I would
Interesting.
think about like how many power moves could I make, or like, and now I have to hit this beat like really specifically. And because at that time I was not with any dancers, I was just like, oh yeah, I can just do this, you know, it doesn't have to be spectacular. I can just do this. She records it, and it's about the view. It isn't about me necessarily. So yeah, that is one of many, I mean, many places where I have danced out in nature. I think
awesome.
I would love to do more of that. I actually
you
have
should.
I have an idea about yeah, doing it in my first retreat, to do nature solo videos with
I
my
love
students.
I love it. I love it.
Who knows? Maybe it's in Cape Verde.
I
Who
think
knows?
it should be. I think it should be. I think you should bring a bunch of you guys coming down here and experiencing paradise. You already been here, but
Yeah.
there's so much more to explore.
Yeah.
There's so much more to explore down here.
Of course. No, but thank you for that. Move that
Thank
soul
you.
question.
Thank you for moving that soul. Thank you for moving that soul. Remember, guys, that you can order Move That Souls across all platforms. I think you can go on movethatsouls.com and you get a little box like this sent home to you. And for a very, 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 very reasonable price. There are 70 different movement cards, 70 different questions cards that contains in a small little box. You can do it with your friends if you want to get to know them better. You can do it in festivals if there are people around you that you don't know and you do want to know them. Any dance style, any level of dancing. We played this together. I played this when I was in Amsterdam together with T-zer, and we ran an event together. And I played it with I bet she was in her older 50s probably, tango dancer. Incredible experience. Our styles are so different, but it was so beautiful to do. So I highly recommend it.
Yes, yeah, me too. I literally, like, this is not something I sell for profit, you know. It was really something that I wanted to do, a passion project, and just to create more connection. I mean, sometimes we've been dancing with people for years,
Yeah,
and I still don't know anything about them. Like, how? So yeah, this game is solely produced and printed and shipped to you out of pure love for the dancing. And yeah, let's get closer, let's get more real with each other, and let's create some really dope dance memories.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
So next week we are coming back and we're going to do, oh my God, I'm almost a little bit nervous, a review of my storytelling piece in Gothenburg, Sweden. And we're going to have Anders, the organizer, and also my former crewmate from Fuse Fam. We're going to have an interview together, and it's going to be really dope.
I'm looking forward.
From dancer. Yeah. Dancer to organizer. So yeah, I'm really happy to have her on. Yeah.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've been listening this long, we say the same thing as we said last time. If you've been listening this long, it means that you are literally the person we are creating these types of episodes for. We're of course doing it for ourselves also, but we want your feedback, input. We get some great feedback last week from you guys. So if you commented last week, please comment again. What did you like? What do you want more of? There were some people saying on YouTube that, oh, I would like you to interview this person. We are going to try to reach out to that person so we can actually interview that person that you requested. Let us know what you liked, what you want more of. And yeah, order Move That Soul, and talk to you guys next week.
Yes.
Ciao.
Ciao. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world, because we read all of it.